Peace. So I'm going to talk about today how they have figured out that Muhammad is the last messenger of God or not. And obviously it's not from the Quran, which is no surprise to a messenger of God, because when these people take over the books of God, they invent their own lies and deceptions to make themselves gods or better than gods fundamentally. I mean, they know better than God himself, because, God forgot to put things in the book and they have to invent them. So first of all, if anybody out there who believes the Quran, I'm not addressing those who don't believe the Quran, they can go to hell. Those who don't believe the Quran are going to hell anyways, so it doesn't matter, I'm not addressing them. Those who hold the Quran and they utter lies. So from the Quran, give me a verse that says Muhammad is the last messenger of God, and the messenger word means Rasul, and he is also a prophet, which is Nabi. So we'll talk about the Nabi factor as well, but certainly find me a verse, any kind of a sequence in the Quran that confirms that Muhammad is the last messenger and there are no more messengers coming. I'll tell you how it is obviously a flaw, an erroneous statement, a lie, a falsification, and utter nonsense that they utter from their ugly mouths, and the evil they spit out from it and perpetuate as truth. So let's look at some of the aspects. So let's bring up the searches I've put together, and let's look at the first aspect, that when you look at where the messenger is being addressed, there are three places where he's addressed directly, like, "O you, the messenger," in that sense. There are three places I found. You might find others, but you will never find it saying, "O you, Muhammad." It's, "O you, the messenger." "O you, the messenger." And here God's addressing all the messengers. "O you, the messengers." Yeah. Of course, this is obviously addressing all of them. But here you've got two places where the messenger is directly addressed. So if it would be only Muhammad after the Quran came down, why would it be the messenger? It should be, "O you, Muhammad." "O you, Muhammad," Then let's go to where he's addressed as a prophet in the Quran. "O you, the prophet" is 13 times. So it's all of these times it is, "O you, the prophet," "O you, the prophet," "O you, the prophet." Why isn't it, "O you, Muhammad," if there is no more prophet to come after him? Why would it be like that? Can you explain that to me? Of course you can't, because you're deluded. If you think he's the last prophet and the last messenger, you're completely deluded. Otherwise, if you know the facts, you would say, yeah, this obviously has no sense, that if he's the last prophet and the last messenger, he would be addressed directly. Then we go to the aspect which they use to confirm their ahadith or stories of the Sunnah of Muhammad, because everywhere it says, "Obey God and the messenger, obey God and the messenger." Yeah, so that's why you have to obey what we tell you Muhammad said. But Muhammad said whatever he had to say in the Quran. Fools, it's all there. You can go read it. Wherever it says say, it's the command to the messenger to say something. So for example here, say, "Obey God and the messengers." Now, I can argue with you and show you you're liars when you say the word Rasul can only mean messenger. The word Rasul can mean messenger or messengers, depending on the context of what is being said. And you can easily figure it out when you read the Quran. So everywhere you will go, it's "Obey God and the messengers," "Obey God and the messengers," or "messenger." "Obey God and obey the messengers," "Obey God and obey the messengers." So keep on going, "Obey God and obey the." So if it was only Muhammad after this Quran, why would it be messenger? There's no need to confuse us. God is not sitting there trying to confuse us. If it was Muhammad to be the last messenger, then it would be "Obey God and obey Muhammad." That's it, because there's nobody who's supposed to be obeyed after that, correct? So why is it this? So obviously you can't answer. You'll go into your delusions and you'll make up your fanciful ideas and you'll spit out garbage to prove that what you believe is right, while the book is clearly telling you you're all lying, yeah, obviously. So now let's go to where they say he's the last prophet, right? That's the only thing they can argue, because the Quran says he's Khataman Nabiyyin, yeah? So the verse is in chapter 33, verse 40. "Not is Muhammad father of anyone from your men, but messenger of God and seal of the prophets. and is God with everything knowledgeable. So now they say this khatam, and in the subcontinent they've changed the meaning of khatim or khatam to be end, whereas in Arabic khatam or khatam means seal, and this actually means sure seal. If I was translating it perfectly, he is sure seal of the prophets, yeah, because there is an aleph here which means to emphasis of khatam. Khatam means seal, khatam means the sure seal of the prophets. So it doesn't say he is the last messenger in any way, shape or form. He is messenger of God and seal of the prophets. He is seal of the prophets because he brought the seal of all prophecy, which was brought to him by Gabriel, which was sent by God, which is the Quran, which you guys hold and lie about every day of your lives without reading it, without trying to understand what it's saying, and you just open your mouth and say he's the last prophet. This doesn't mean he's the last prophet any way, shape or form. It means seal of the prophet. Seal is a stamp. He is the stamp or the seal which is written on books. You put stamp on it. He's the stamp. Muhammad is the stamp of the prophets. He is the seal of the prophets. Every prophecy is sealed in this Quran. You cannot get away with it. You cannot get out of it. Everything in this Quran is absolutely true. Whether you understand it or not is a secondary aspect which most of you have no clue about, cannot understand, cannot fathom what is going on in the Quran, and that's the actual fact. So now let's go to another place in chapter 10, verse 47, where it says, وَلِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ رَسُولٌ فَإِذَا جَاءَ رَسُولُهُمْ قُضِيَ بَيْنَهُمْ بِالْقِسْطِ وَهُمْ لَا يُظْلَمُونَ. So, and to all people a messenger, but when comes their messenger, decision between them with the justice, and they not their wrong. So why would God write this in the Quran if there are no more messengers to come? You know, oh no, that was supposedly for Muhammad only. Why? If it was for Muhammad, it's already done. He doesn't need to leave it for us. So again, lie upon lie, and the truth will destroy your lies from the book. And this is just a few verses I'm showing you. There's many more which prove that there is no way Muhammad was the last messenger. There are messengers coming to all people, all generations. A messenger has to come, or messengers have to be brought out from the people themselves before the punishment is inflicted. So how is God going to punish this generation which is written in the Quran? The punishment is coming to all people without a messenger or a warner being amongst these people. So there you go. It's a complete fallacy. And then finally, the word Muhammad, or the reference to Muhammad, there's only 5 places in the Quran Muhammad is named by name. And there's in chapter 3, 144, chapter 33, verse 40, the title for chapter 47, and the second verse of chapter 47, and the last verse of chapter 48, where Muhammad is declared messenger of God. Obviously, he is the messenger of God. There's no doubt in that. Anybody who holds the Quran and believes that Quran is from God can no way, shape or form say, is Muhammad the messenger of God? The Quran says so, so obviously he is. And he is a prophet. He is the messenger, the prophet, the illiterate, who has been announced in the Torah and the Bible when it came. They've just hidden it, changed it. They don't want to accept it. They're going to burn in hell as well, just like these people who are holding this book. They're going to burn in hell because they have destroyed the fundamental meaning of this book. And for that, they will suffer. So fundamentally, there's the argument for you. Now bring out a verse that proves Muhammad is the last messenger from the Quran, in the Quran, telling you he's the last messenger. I've given you verses which tell you that's impossible to prove, and obviously when the Quran says something clearly, you cannot negate it with any kind of certainty. So with that, I end this aspect of the lies that are told about God and his messengers. So peace.